Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rafaela and I'm here to present to you my second project. I presented my first photography project and it seemed to have a lot of nice comments and very good feedback, so I appreciate everyone's kindness. You're all so lovely. And that inspired me to do what I said that I would do, which is to make a mini series out of all my photography projects. And so here is the second one. I believe that this project was done in 2024. The module was titled as the photographic object. And from the sounds of it and from what I've seen previously of my work, we quite literally had to turn our photographs into a physical object. I don't remember being a big fan of this module. I remember that it was optional for us to present it and I didn't like it, so I never went to present my work. But I did hand everything in and I got a passing grade. Could have done better, but that was my struggle in university, sort of the modules that you had to do sometimes. Nevertheless, the project is titled as Nature's Echo, the resonance between human and earth. So quite straightforward from that title. My goal here was to create a 3D object which showed the similarities and the resemblance between nature and the human body. Now, from these photographs, is very straightforward what I was trying to do. If it wasn't texture, if it wasn't very straightforward, at least the concept would sort of match between the two photographs. I mean, they are two very different things, however, still very similar. So in the first photograph, we have the stretch marks to resonate with the texture on the tree. We have the tree branches to resonate with the veins on the eye. We have the vine to resonate with the strand of hair. And I wish I enjoyed this more, but I didn't. I just didn't. I think the only two photographs that I really liked out of these would be the vine with the hair and the flower with the eye. Specifically the flower with the eye. I know that there's some contrasting in the colors. The flower is way more darker than the photograph of the eye, but just the pupil with the middle of the flower going perfectly well for me, and then the lashes sort of acting like the petals. I really like that. That's the only photograph that I like out of them. And so this is how it started. It started again with having a session outdoors, having a session indoors, putting those together, merging them. And then came another stage, which was thinking about how do you turn a 2D photograph into a 3D object. And now the quickest way and the easiest way for me to do that was, I saw this somewhere. It was either I seen it in the presentations that they gave us for the module, or I was scrolling on Pinterest. But it was a cube. It was a cube, and on each face of the cube there was a photograph. And I thought, oh wow, yeah, easiest way for me to do that is to literally go back to primary, where they will put a net of a shape. They'll print out they'll print out a page of it. You would have to cut around it, fold it up, glue it together, and then from a flat piece of paper you will get a 3D cube. And I thought I could do that. So then came the second stage, and this is how the photographs looked in the second stage. I did just that. I took the net of a cube, I put the outline on top of each photograph, and then took out the excess from it, ended up printing them out, cutting them up, folding and gluing, and then there they were. Like I said, I didn't go to present them. So because I didn't, unfortunately, I don't have an image, nor can I find my written workbook because I documented the whole process. I documented each step of the process to explain how the images came about and how I made the transition from the 2D to the 3D. But I'm pretty sure I have at least like something similar to sort of show what they may have looked like. I think for this project, I enjoyed the process of it way more than I did the outcome. And that happens sometimes. It happens not only in art, but in everyday life as well. Sometimes we do things and we sometimes enjoy the outcome more than the process, because the process is very hard and draining and the ending is just rewarding. And sometimes the outcome is just it doesn't bring any satisfaction. So the process did it for me. I don't really get hands-on much with my photographs. I didn't have to, apart from when I was working in the darkroom, which wasn't much. So yeah, I think I enjoyed that more. Yeah, here they are. Like I said, didn't like it, but I got a passing grade. I think if I was to go back and to do this, I, for one, would have chosen way better pictures. Maybe I would have just done a series with flowers and eyes, and maybe I would have stepped away from my usual black and white photography to do it in color. And it would have looked fine in cubes. I don't really understand how the cubes could have linked to nature. I wish that I could have worked that out a little bit more. The nature aspect is in the photographs, but I just wish that I could have found a way back then to have the physical object itself relate to nature. I feel like that not only would have that gotten me a better grade, but that would have also pushed out the concept of the photographs even more. That was my second project. Shall be back with the third. I will try and get everything. I'll try and find some bits of writing. I'm sure that there has to be a Word document somewhere explaining my work so that I can go in a little bit more depth, because all these projects, they were years and years ago and I don't remember them that well. The most I remember is from what I get out of the title and thinking back to where my mind would have went when I took these photographs. But I'll try and find some written work for the next project that I will show, and to go a little bit more in depth. Thank you for watching. As always, I hope that you will have an amazing day and that you take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.